Alright, so hands. Hands are amazingly tough sometimes. Let's see if we can manage to pull one off. What I like to do is draw these really big and then shrink them back. So always make sure I can do that. I make sure I can scale this Z-sphere, this tunnel. And you can see I can scale that very easily by clicking on the tunnel. Okay, so I make these really big hands. So don't laugh at them. Don't call them forks or anything like that. You make my feelings hurt. Okay. I'm just going to scale this one back just a little bit here. And every time we get an upgrade for ZBrush, this changes every time. So once you got hands down pat, don't think you're going to have hands down pat for long, because then you're going to have to change your method. Okay, so this gives me a little bit of play within here. So I always keep these kind of spaced out at first, just till I get everything together. But technically, you know, this is, I think of this as my middle finger right here. And if you look at your middle finger compared to your hand, your middle finger cuts right down the center of your entire hand, kind of between the ring finger and middle finger. Though you see that it's just a skosh off. It's just very close to the midline of your hand. Now the problem is there's no such thing as 1/2 of a Z-sphere, so this becomes a problem trying to put this more over here. Okay. So you have to decide or juggle around the Z-spheres a little bit, trying to get that look. This is when I start using the density at a lower feature, because I could technically look at these things a little bit easier. And don't forget, this is all sculptable, so in most cases the hand is just there as far as a bag of skin ready to be sculpted. Good, nice big hands, right? Okay, so let's see here. Good. And now I could just kind of scale that back a little bit. Again, I grab this tube and I scale it that way some. And you've seen this thing turn transparent on me. In some cases you have to kind of move these around a little bit. So if I move this back, I'll have a larger tube to play around with that I could scale back without that happening. The new move tool is just, it seems silly and unpractical sometimes, because you know, we used to be able to move these across and not have them fold in on each other like that. I'm just gonna go back to the old Z-spheres and see. No, it exists there too. They have this proximity though, so let me turn this proximity down. Yep, and no real way to go back to it. Nice. So again, something that we're going to have to handle in Sculpt. Okay, as long as the topology there is there to kind of work with the hands, it doesn't really matter anyway. I'm going to try rotating this one a little bit this way. Sometimes a rotate will fix the unified polygon structure here. Okay, and then I'm just going to scale these back some. Giving me some good spacing in the fingers to work with. Again, being pretty picky about my base mesh, because I know if you don't get it right, it's going to hurt you in the sculpt. This can all be changed. This is good. I added another Z-sphere right in this area because that way I have more something more to play with in the connection of the head to the torso. And generally at this stage what I do is try to insert some Z-spheres in here to give me, like this right here is a lot of detail, but I don't see a whole lot of detail in here. I see a lot of detail in the legs, but I don't see a whole lot of detail in the upper torso. So I know, you know, a lot of the detail is, some of the detail is right here as the muscle tone goes from you know, the torso over to the bicep. This area right here has a lot of change to it. So I like to try to keep or put enough topology in there to support that. Okay, there we go. Alright, in the next video we'll cover some more.